just gonna check the stream is up. Should be up. Yes, we're live. This is great. It's working every single time. Really happy with that. So let's just wait for the room to pop up a little bit. Where is the chat? Oh man, I can't see the chat. Give me 1 second. Studio mode. Nope. Settings maybe. Great. I've got no clue where the chat's on. Okay. It's not a big deal. I can get the chat up on my phone. Give me a second. Yeah, nice. All right, sweet. Let's have a little look at the markets. Give me a second. Adjust my chair. Good. So, how are you guys doing? What are you guys looking at? Is everything sounding good on here? Is there an echo? Oh, not connected to, yeah. No, sounds good. Sounds really good. Brilliant. And we have a little bit of a delay on my side, but we're good. The hell is this? YouTube live control panel. I don't have that. That's chat. Perfect. I've got the chat up and running. Nice. Okay, we're good. We're absolutely good now. Really, really happy with that. Can someone drop a message in the chat? Just want to see if the chat is working on here now. And yeah, I'll start the webinar. So put this down. I'm just going to put some music in the background. Not entirely sure how loud that is. I might move it to the other side so it doesn't disturb you guys. Awesome, awesome, good stuff. So looking at the markets today, so I do have GA on watch. I also have GU on kind of a softer watch, but more so I've got GA this morning. So I caught GA for a short and it was a pretty good trade, so I'm going to break that down now. So yesterday I caught Aussie 200. I walked out away with 3%, which I'll break down properly with the charts in front of me. I did make a live earlier today where I kind of covered it, but you know what, I wanted to do this live at 12 o'clock today, and I realised that I've got to go somewhere at 1 o'clock, so I thought, you know what, between 11 and 11:30, 12:30, I could make a video and then I could just quickly pop off. So So yeah, that's basically main purpose why I ended up doing this a bit early. And then I announced it on YouTube, on Instagram, that I was going to do it in a few hours from now. But you know, I don't think I'm going to have time for that, so I might just delete that post. So I'm just going to go back on there. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm not bothered. I might do another one in 2.5 hours, 2 hours 40 minutes when I'm back. I'll see. I haven't played the piano today, so I'll probably be getting on that too. So let's get into GA. So GA is pretty nice as a pair, actually, to be honest. So what I'm really looking at on GA is quite nice. So I'm seeing weekly up here. You can see the weekly. Arguably, there's two things to it. You've got this area just above it, which is there, and then you've got this bit here where we've kind of tapped into it on GA. Obviously, we can only work with what we've got right now. We don't know if price is going to come all the way back up just yet, but what we do know, price is showing some level of a response to this area, and it accumulated a huge amount of volume here. So with this particular trade, I'm not sure if I want to be too aggressive with it, because all of this accumulation might just burst and move to the downside. And we don't really know when that's going to happen, but at the same time, you know, it's very possible that we could sell off from where we are now, and we're looking at it on the weekly, so there's a lot of movement to the downside. So we could be quite high up and early in the run, and all of this accumulation was just a sign of bigger players getting positioned for a big run to the downside. Looking on the daily, you can see that price was corrective on the way down, but if it was going to form a base, it would have done so here when it had more than enough, pushed up. But this failure over here was a bit uncommon. What I was really seeing here was that, why did we not continue moving higher from this section here? So I'm just going to change the song on this. It was just singing in my ear, but I didn't know what it was saying. Alright, sweet, yeah. So, basically, so what I'm really looking at over here is, I would like to see how price responds here for a continuation to the downside. With a continuation to the downside, we actually have quite a lot of momentum in play. So I'll be looking at targeting around about these areas here. But more so, what we can see is we correctively came, failed to continue, sold off sharp now, and it's just real momentum coming in, and we've broken that low. Coincidentally, we started forming continuation, but we broke a little bit higher. On the daily, what you can see here is a strong push back up, a retest, and a sell. There is some building works going on in my building right now, so I do apologize if you guys can hear a bit of drilling. A 4 hour, we then can kind of see that, okay, momentum came in, consolidation, and looking for continuation. So with that in mind, I'm not going to be put off by a little bit of a 1 hour sort of mess about in these areas, because in all truth and honesty, if we're going to go, this is going to be a pretty decent position. You know, we could be looking at 8 to 1. So me just aggressively getting out for a 2 to 1, I'm leaving a lot on the table here. So this is the sort of trade that I'm going to be patient with and kind of lay a run. On the hourly, this kind of gets more into the entry criteria now. So now that we kind of understand the positioning of why I kind of saw it retest the back end of this, it sold off, started breaking this low, came back with a 3-touch structure, retested that. That's very deliberate. It's extremely deliberate. Now GA is notorious and it can mess about, but I think in this particular scenario, it's kind of showing its hand very well. And the fact of the matter is that big candle was news-based, but at the same time, we're now getting more confirmation on continuation within this. So a small consolidation here could actually be your scaling opportunity and not your reversal. But what I don't like about it is how that 1 hour did close quite indecisive. But that's all it is, an indecisive candle in an area that is breaking a low. So with everything else added included, I'm not going to let the 1 hour put me off from the 4 hour, the daily, and the weekly, because we can clearly see we've tapped into the retest here, we've pushed away, we're getting that level of continuation, we've completed on the structure, right? After the completion, even with a middle section in there, you know, this is a great little, nice little, neat structure. And then we go down to the 15-minute. This is where my entry was on the 15 right there. I was more than happy to get in aggressively there, understanding, you know, it was still premature from the hourly close, but Again, there was criteria there leading up to everything I needed, and the positioning was good and so forth. So at this point here, even on the 1 hour, you can see at the 15, we're in an area where price could just potentially mess about and consolidate for a bit. We're still quite early in the day, nowhere near swaps, nowhere near spreads. So for that reason, you know, I can just let that develop into New York session, and maybe it just goes. And if it doesn't and it comes back up, so be it. You know, at the end of the day, it was a great trade idea and I was willing to take it. And I think at the end of the day, sometimes you have to know when to kind of take a message from the market and be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to be aggressive with that. But sometimes you need to know when I'm going to be a bit more loose and I'm not going to be super aggressive with it, because I understand that this can just really change and just develop and go. And I'm positioned really well based on higher time frame structure, positioning, everything. I'm better off playing this as the bigger move. So right now you can sit here, failed continuation, broke above, broke back in, gave continuation, sell off. That's what we're looking for. The 4 hour close is going to be in about 30 minutes. This 4 hour could potentially retrace about 50% of that. So a lot of people will try to be a little bit more aggressive with that. That's fine. You can be, let's say it closes anywhere around about there. You might end up get tagged out just for your 1% win, and then it goes off without you. So that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to not be aggressive with this, because let's say price closes here, then it retraces 50%. Had I been aggressive and tried to lock in 1%, borderline with spreads and that, I'd be tagged out. And then price would drop off and I would miss my trade because I thought I was being a bit aggressive and conservative. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture already revealed itself, what's happening. So keep that in mind. But entry criteria wise, keeping it very simple. You can see on the hourly, 3 touch, the retrace is there. Because news was there, if you took it on you couldn't take it on the open candle because we had news at 7 a.m. UK. And keeping that in mind, you'd have to have taken it a bit earlier to get tagged into the candle closing for news, because you can't take a trade 2 minutes before or after the closing candle of the candle that closes into news for whatever reason, because there's people out there who abuse it. So you'd have to get positioned a little bit differently. I obviously mitigated with a bit more stop protection up here in the case that I was wrong, that I could kind of make that decision sooner. You know, let's say I was wrong and it did that, I would then have to wait for this New York session and I would have got involved in this, and that would have been my gameplay, because based on everything here, I've got more than enough. But again, I was happy with that, happy to take it, and again, this time it did play through. A lot of the time this is probabilities. I was going through that yesterday in terms of the probability of your winners and losers. This just happens to be a sequence of my winners. So going into everything and kind of just looking at this trade, managing it wise, it's pretty simple actually, to be fair. I'm looking at it as this is just one big range in itself. I don't see it coming back up to here just yet. I don't really see giving it enough reason. On the daily, it did kind of leave a bit of a footprint. So I wouldn't be surprised if it did sell off and eventually, you know, did all this stuff, and then eventually came down here and then made its way to, you know, do something like this, and then it became a larger structure into something there, and then we continue with the sell, and then it's still a part of some sort of corrective channel. But I don't think that's anything I need to worry about, because that's all the way deep into like February, March, and we'll know by then. So yeah, keeping that in mind, let me just double check something here. Yeah, good. We're pretty good with that. So any questions, guys? Anything relating to price action, trades you're looking at, anything on them lines? Aussie 200 trade yesterday. I'll just quickly briefly go over it. It was very, very simple. That was the trade there. 15-minute entry was right here. Give or take, it was borderline. I believe I saw it as 20 pips, but I think I went 18. Genuinely think I went 18, and then I got out around about there. Different data, so it was slightly different, but that was my trade. I got out there end of day. It was coming into 2 hours before swaps. It was coming just at the value area. I knew that it's probably going to stall, create some sort of continuation, or probably sell against me. I didn't want to sit through that. And for that simple reason, I got out. And sometimes it's a good decision, sometimes it just continues going. It's just how you want to see it. I prefer stacking the win. Some people prefer holding it to see how the outcome will be. I don't like dealing with uncertainty too much. Sometimes I like to just take what I got, move on to the next. Aussie CAD, right? Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD's an interesting one because if you zoom out here on the 4 hour, you can clearly see larger correction into larger correction, potentially coming up higher, but becoming more unreliable as we move forward, right? It's becoming a little bit kind of in the sense of that, but in a very messy way. And also, if you notice something, that if this was the middle section, right, I'm just going to draw that on. If this was your middle section, then why are we doing that, right? To create what, an inverted middle section here. So it's kind of just a very off structure here. And for that main reason alone, I'm not looking to play around with Aussie CAD as much, even though that I do have it on watch this week. It is in my additional pairs here. I just personally feel like I would want to go long, but I would have to be cautious with it. I think this is nice because when you do isolate this larger correction, there is a level of deliberacy to it as well. But at the same time, the reliability of this it's not positioned really well. So I would be playing this as more of a mechanical play of this overall bit here. I'll take it there. And I would just say to 90%, if I can get a trade in here, because I would probably be looking for a risk entry. If I could get a risk entry or even a reduced risk, 10 pips, maybe a little bit more, 11, 12 into that bit there, I could walk away with 5 to 1. I'll take that. I'm happy with that type of trade, and I'll walk away and I won't worry about the bigger picture because, you know, it's possible it can come up here. It's most likely going to make its way up there, but I don't know how it's going to do it. And if we go larger correction into larger correction, there's a possibility this comes into another larger correction. And at that point there, I'm going to really be off put by this. But this is possibly showing good signs of, you know, a reversal, but in which area? Because when I see it, I've got multiple areas that I'm paying attention to. I've got this one here, which I think is probably the most likely scenario. You've got this one just above, you've got this one we're going through, and then you've got this as the low where we've got a bit of a gap, right? So I then kind of look at this a bit closer and I'm like, all right, let's disregard that. Let's remove that for simplicity. We can see the override here and the completion there. Odds are we could be seeing something like this where we can get into that long and then eventually ride it in whatever sequence it comes into. Comes in here, eventually makes its way higher, and then sells off. And then the real sequence that I want to get involved in is that one right there, to then play the long again. So it's a long shot, and I am forecasting way into the future, and it's very, it's just something that I'm speculating on right now. Probably we'll pay more closer attention to it when we're there, which could be at some point in December, it could be some point in January. But really and truly, the long is the only one I'll be looking at. So, any favorites? You know what, I had a favorite and my favorites got taken off, so it is what it is, you know. Wheat was a favorite for me. Why did I take wheat off? I'll put it back on. Wheat was a favorite for me, but I wanted to see it do this. I wanted to see it kind of near miss, come here, come back down, and make its way back up here. Give me that sort of gaps, fills, and then this sequence is the one I wanted to take advantage of. That one there. And you can see how nice that would have been, you know, from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 into this section, and then see how it develops further. That's basically what I was looking at, but right now it's a little bit too steep. Even though if there's a retrace there, I'm not going to take that retrace, even though it's something that becomes a little bit high probability in the sense of, you know, we've washed out, go to the 4 hour, we washed out, and we close back in here. But again, I want to get in a little bit more better than that. I would want to see something kind of break below this section here, which I want to see where that is on the 4. Okay, yeah, so borderline halfway through the 4. and then we get some sort of continuation below that. So if that sells off and then you get continuation in here, that's something that I'm more interested in, because when I look at it, it's like, okay, there's a V shape, but then we kind of had a bit of this sort of 1, 2, 3 section into it, which is very irregular, not very nice. And then that's like my outside hover. And I can take that and play that to the short. You know, even if it's borderline through it, still good, still happy with that. As long as it's not above that ray line. Anything above it, I wouldn't touch. Through and below, happy with. And a trade like that, I could deal with that. I could deal with that. So you can see from an insurance perspective, it's nice. From an hourly perspective, it feels a bit more risky. And from a 4-hour perspective, it feels a bit too late. Even though there is still a decent risk reward, better protection. You know, even if I went to cover the full wick of where it is now, let's say over there, you know, I still got about 4 to 1 to the low. So the 4-hour, I wouldn't write it off completely. I would still say there's a decent trade there, because I'm not just playing that, I'm playing this. And then it turns into a much better trade. But keeping in mind, let's say I get my refined entry and I'm looking at something in the region of this, right? Those trades that we're looking at, you know, borderline, you're looking at 40%, 30%, 13%, 6.24%. So adds up, stacks up, and it looks better and it feels better to be in a trade like that, where I'm dealing with a different situation of price action. But yeah, let me just quickly check some of these. Nothing on there. Oh, oil is coming into that. Let's see, WTI, not yet tapped into it, but still. UK oil, wash out maybe. This is good. I like this, because I had UK oil on watch for a while, and it was just hovering about, messing, and wasn't doing much. But now we're breaking this. We could see something like, even if it sell off from there, insurance entry, and then you play it, manage it into the next low, and see if that's the one that just continues. And then I'd probably be more aggressive at that low, just because of the sequence of this wave. Be conscious of the one just above it. And then yeah, just manage it accordingly. I think risk reward wise, let me have a look at that. If I get an insurance entry in there, provided this is the hourly, right? But let's say I got insurance entry in this section here. I'll put in around about, yeah, I'll call 20 pips, 21, yeah, about 4.2, 6, 7, 8. It's not bad. Obviously, I'm not going to put it on watch because of other things. Silver, we were looking at this yesterday. Silver looks good. Let's have a look at Aussie New Zealand then. Aussie New Zealand. Yep. Aussie New Zealand's good. It's really good. It's good, it's good, it's good. Still early days. Still got a bit above there. But arguably, you know, I would price that one above, and I would put this one in here, and I would wait. Despite everything that happens in this area, I would wait. And what I would be waiting for is for price to really, really commit to the downside. I want to see price just kind of make its way here. And then once it's trading in those areas, I get continuation. In whatever form, I'll take that. I'll take that short. It doesn't have to be that large, but because the thought process behind this is that we broke above this and we came back in and now we're selling off again. So that was just a liquidity spike, went a bit far to wash out orders. And then this part here, it's basically showing its hand that we're not getting there anytime soon. We might get there in the future, we might sell off and come back up, but odds are we want to see a response to that high. Right now we're kind of in between this high and this high, so it's too soon. And then you also have this one in the middle here, which arguably I think is better because we've tapped into it. So then if I look at it closer, if I want to take a trade, it's not necessarily the worst place. Just looking at this a bit closer, yeah, you could get something in here. If I got something in there that kind of just went up, came back down, and then we kind of played in this section here, I could manage that into the downside. And arguably, I'd probably be managing it to around about here. aggressively, not aggressively, sorry, to break even aggressively, but I would want to kind of catch the trade here. I'd protect just above the retest of that section. So 10 pips, 10 pips is good. Spreads can be wild. So if spreads are wild, I'll go 15 or 13, 14. I'd say 13, 14. I got about 0.8 to the bottom of the structure. I've got about 1.6 here, 1.9, 2, and then the real trade that I'm playing is the one that follows through to the downside, and then we start getting a sell-off. But it's too soon to tell for sure. But yeah, that's Aussie New Zealand for sure. Or BTC, did it tap into the low? It hasn't tapped into the low. Will it tap into the low? Most likely. So patience, BTC patience. Even if that buys and comes all the way back up here, right? Buys and comes all the way back up here. Odds are you probably will have a nice sell wave back into this low here, and then eventually you can buy it. So take your pick. Me, BTC, I'm looking for that price. This section here, this golden run territory over there, that's what I'm looking for. Because you can get positioned in there and then you're up for a phenomenal run. Like, just really think about this for a minute, okay? And let's say you get in the trade here somewhere, you've got this sort of expanding happening. From here to here, you're looking at a BTC roughly around about, call it 98, all the way up to around about 30. Okay, and then if I zoom into the hourly, we can see average wise, you know, when we got insurance entry, and I'll take one from previous price action. Let's just take this random piece of price here so I can replicate it for simplicity reasons, right? Okay, so now let's say that price action is here and we get this trade, and you're not going to hesitate on that because it's got all the elements of a trade that you need, right? I could probably say that about that much stop loss, 2000, right? And then I'm riding that to the upside to all-time highs. I'm looking at 12% on that trade. So yeah, it's not the best 4 hour play there, but that's 4 hour. Let's say if I go down to 15 minute, maybe I could refine that and get a better trade in there. Perhaps maybe I get something in the region of, you know, half the stop loss, that's 22%. You know, I'm not saying that I'm gonna probably get that. I'll probably go with hourly on this, but you know, it's too early to speculate. I'm just overthinking it. So yeah, just really and truly, there's a lot of room. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm really trying to make a point of. There's a lot of room if price does that. Right now, there's not a lot of room because I don't know if price is going to come up and then dramatically sell off because there's a gap. So with that reasoning behind it, I don't want to just get involved on BTC long and be like, yeah, BTC long. Like, it could look great. Really and truly, it could look good. You've got like a low here, you've got a low there. Let's say it does this and breaks that low, comes up again and then comes back down and taps into this low and then starts doing that, right? Well, I'm still within this, man. It's still corrective and then it taps into that section, it sells. And then next thing you know, it was always a part of a sell. It was just a bit of a larger flag. So yeah, BTC. Let's have a little look at GA. So 15 minutes to the close of the hourly. It's not my cup of tea right now. I would wait. I'm gonna wait for BTC. Wait for BTC. I mean, I'm gonna wait for GA. I've still got break even locked in, so I don't care. To be fair, you could have locked in around about, you know, your borderline. It was hovering around about 2.5%. I don't see anything wrong with that. That 1 hour close was just off-putting entirely. So I understand why people would be getting out of their position now, but I'm still true to this larger structure. I don't think I'm going to overthink it. I think I'm just going to wait for the 4 hour close in 15 minutes. See the 50% retrace. Wait and see. EA interested in EA. EA is now tapping into this section here, which is basically the 4-hour liquidity point. It's a bit steep, and that looks like a bull continuation. That could be the clue that we are coming to the upside. That could be the clue we're coming to the upside. That 4-hour candle was strong as well, and the next one is looking pretty bullish as well on the EA. GA's 4-hour candle looks complete opposite, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see how this 1 hour closes. Any of you guys got GA open? See GU. Yeah, GU as well. I think this is a sign, like, you know, looking at this, GA pulls back a little bit, comes in here, starts doing that, GA starts going a bit sideways, and then boom, carries on selling, and then GA just starts selling off. So this one could potentially be coming in here, comes off a little bit, comes in there, and then that's your continuation. I don't see anything wrong with that, and I think that's what only took GJ. You were messaging me about GJ, asking about, do I have GJ? GJ long, GJ short. GJ looks like a long. Under the low though, I don't like that, but when you look at the high time frame picture, to be honest, it's okay. GJ long, I would have GJ long now. I hope you GJ'd long actually. I'm just looking at this right now and I'm like, that's a GJ long right now. Long, yeah. Yeah, GJ long. It's a good trade. Nice catch actually, to be honest. I like that a lot because it's accumulated. What have I got? I've got AJ in that. GJ long, maybe they're shaped up now as well. And I'm missing it. No, AJ, nope. CJ. That's just GJ. GJ is the only one that's shaped up. Nice, man. Risky though, because none of the other ones are showing anything, but this structurally on the hourly looked pretty decent. I just don't like the price action to the left of where it's basically just under that, and you kind of have that retrace there, but with it consolidating like this and how it's looking, it's a strategic play. No middle section and stuff as well, really and truly. It's just mechanical. I like it. I really do like the structure. I would have, if I had GJ on watch, I would have probably been considering it as well. Yeah, GA, just waiting now for 10 minutes. Candle closes in 10. I think there's going to be a scaling. I'm going to wait for the scaling opportunity on GA. That's what I'm going to wait for. I'm looking at that closely. Let me see my notifications. I've got quite a few on here now. Yeah, sweet. We'll see. I mean, it could be a break even. It could play out and be pretty decent as well. So I would ideally just want to wait and see how this forms and then take advantage of it. Just looking at what else we have on watch. S&P. There was that. EU nothing, AU nothing, AJ nothing, CJ, and nothing there. EA possibly. I think all of this stalling is looking good. You know, we're basically now in this area here. This is where we could sell from as well. I just don't really, I'm not a big fan of the 4 hour, really and truly. So that's why I'm kind of just a bit put off. Even with GA, I'm kind of like break even locked in. Let's wait and see. Aussie CAD, probably the closest one to giving a possible good entry in these areas. Probably insurance entry would be your better bet. There's also the room for this becoming some sort of ugly flag, so not a big fan. Aussie Swiss. Oh, Aussie Swiss. Still selling off. No entries. I should be putting this on watch though. I'm just neglecting Aussie Swiss. I mean USD Swiss. I've been neglecting it quite a lot, to be honest. With everything included and how price action is moving, I've got my high time frame structure drawn out. I don't know, just not interested. There's also USD CAD coming up for New York session. I do want to see this kind of give me one more bottom before it comes up again. So I'd like to see that sell off and then make its way back up and do something like that. So I've kind of got this sort of internal bit of price action as well leading into that. That's what I would like to see, but odds are we may not even see that and it might just tap into it and sell off. So I'm not a big fan because of the base. It goes two ways. This becomes either continuation to move up now, or it sells off a bit from there, where this could have been the structure all along, like from here, and then it's very irregular, so I'm not bothered. NJ, yeah, longs, man. I wouldn't be bothering with much on NJ. It's failed to continue down here, it's coming back up, it's obviously coming back up to these areas here at least, probably with more continuation. I would wait now for continuation to get into the next point up there. So playing it like that, just wait for this, wait for this flag. Something like that. I mean, you know, it might not come out that perfect, but you want to see this level of confirmation. That's what you want. So it could take some time to develop. GU, oh, AU's got nothing. Still waiting for insurance entry on that. Let's see GU. I'll look at France 40 in a second. So you got GA locked in 1.7. Nice. Locked in. When you say locked in, do you mean you've closed the position at 1.7, or you've put your stop loss protections to secure 1.7? Because when I say locked in, I basically mean like my stop loss has been moved, so like I've got 1.7 locked in despite whatever happens. That's what I mean. Just wanted to get clarity on what you meant. GU, yeah, waiting for continuation. I'm waiting for continuation. I think this is going to come lower. I think it's going to come to this point. I said this on the earlier live as well. This could be an inverse head and shoulders. If I invert the charts, you can see, you know, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then it sells off, kind of at that area there. And then we get a continuation to the upside, and then we see DXY sell off as well. So it's kind of what I'm looking at. Secured, nice. Yeah, I like that. So you can see as well, like I'm not really bothered about this pulling back. Some people might be in fear right now, where they have the candle there and they see it coming up and they're like, oh no, what's going on? But then, you know, in all truth, it's not an oh no situation, it's oh yes, oh yes. More people are going to get forced out their positions as well, because they don't see, if they just went to the 4 hour and looked at it, why on earth would price recover from here, right? If we were going to recover from there, we would have done it already. We would have retested this and we would have recovered. But price didn't do that. It started stalling and accumulating, and it's now selling off. So there's a high probability this continues, rather than it kind of coming back up. So if I look at it on the daily as well, what's it done? It's come back here, it's retested this section here, this previous larger bit of price action, retested it, and it's pushing back down now. So there's more confluence from a higher time frame saying short, from the 4 hour saying short. On the 1 hour, it was saying short until we got that candle. And now these are early signs of something underdeveloped. The 4 hour is going to close in 4 minutes. If the 4 hour closes back up there, sure, okay, fine. We have to take a message from the market. But if the 4-hour close is how it closes now, yeah, we are technically still within the range, and it's kind of evolved a little bit more, right? So we can just evolve that and be like, okay, then are we looking at something a bit larger? Possibly. But if we're looking at something larger, is that still in proportion? Not really, because then that's kind of more now become a larger structure than the impulse, and it makes it more neutral, and we're looking at longs. So in terms of a structure, that's complete. And the structure was originally how we looked at it. So technically, it's done everything it needs to do. It has no reason to come back up. If it does come back up, it's not the trade I thought it was. And then there's no reason for me to be in this trade anyway, because I was always playing it for a 2-to-1, which wasn't the trade idea for me. I mean, okay, it did drop for 3-to-1, but I'm playing this as a bigger trade. The trade thesis for me is I'm taking this trade to walk away with roughly around about a 3-to-1 when managing it at 5, then aggressively at 6, and then aggressively to 8. That's basically the whole trade thought process for me. Anything less is not worth my time. So I'll take the break even and then work on the next one. And that's as simple as I'm keeping it. So when I've kind of made a stuck decision like that, there's no faffing about. No faffing about at all. I already know what I'm doing. I know how I'm dealing with it. And if it doesn't give me what I want, then I'll go work on something else what will. And at the end of the day, it's the real deal facts, man. Now, someone said France 40. Apologies, I missed it. France 40, let me just go check the weekly, monthly. The monthly looks bullish, and we have a value area above that hasn't been tapped in. Okay, right, we have that. Look on the weekly, I'll see that, maybe that's a little hook point as well, but we got so close. Arguably, it's enough for a sell, right? We got so close, but then look at that candle. The first one rejected, it was looking good. Then we started kind of looking like an evening star, but then we had some huge wick, which was not a great sign at this point if we're gonna sell off. Because look, when we started selling off, look at this, pin bar, look at how we closed on that one there. And then look at the next one and how we closed, and then look where it pushed to. This one, we closed kind of remotely okay, but then the next one, not very nice. So there's something about longs on this, not shorts. Are we looking at longs? Then I look at it a bit closer, and yeah, sure, you've got this part here, but you've also got to pay attention to this little part here. And then when we broke it, we broke this correctively as well. We broke it correctively, failed to create continuation here, but we pushed up higher. Similar to my Aussie 200 thought process. And then in here, sort of sections, you had your continuations, arguably another one right there in front of you on the high as well. And now we're pushing higher. So there's less room for this to come to the downside, and it's more reason for it to go long. I don't see a short, I see a long. I see a optimistic, yeah. I'm seeing that good. You could probably wait for the next one now. You might get something more so above this, which I would argue is probably your better trade. I mean, something in there was great. Something over here is still good. Right, if you pushed up, came here and just started developing, and then, you know, you get your sort of trade there. That's probably going to blast up to the upside. So you're good. You're good. It's a good trade, and we fill the gap. You manage that for however much you manage it for. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Let's say you even mitigate and cover that random wick at the bottom there, just because you can, right? You can manage that for a 3.7 to 1 to your first point, and then if it starts breaking above, which it likely will do at that point because we didn't just come there to tap it, we'll then probably move a bit further. Now, if you did want to be a bit more aggressive, which again I said is always a possibility, and let's say you were more aggressive at, you know, here it turns into a 7 to 1 really, a 7, 8 to 1. So you can take your pick. I always go for the additional protection, but I know some people like to go a bit more aggressive, and that's fine. That's completely fine. Let's see here, man. I haven't looked at this all week. Okay. Okay, that's good. I'm hearing a lot of talks. I don't know about you guys. There's a lot of talks about how Nvidia backs all these artificial intelligence chips, and there's going to be a big bubble crash. There's going to be a crash coming in. Oh wow, yeah. There's going to be a big bubble crash in the market coming at some point. Now, I don't think that's entirely wrong, but you know, when people talk about a crash, like they're talking about something like this. You know, if I take that same sort of level of movement and I bring that up here, you know, crashes here. So yeah, this is basically what we could be dealing with, which sucks because, you know, it basically comes back into that area there. I think arguably this is a possibility that we might be looking at. So there could be a lot of selling opportunity for a lot of money to be made, don't get me wrong, but we could see a market crash, which sucks because, you know, I've got money in quite a few different things, but S&P 500 as well, if that's happening. S&P 500 is not entirely backed by all of those, but what it's saying is we're probably coming back down. So I don't truly believe S&P is going to crash and come all the way here. I think S&P 500 might just do a bit of a dip here and then recover, where that's fine too, long-term holds. But then you look at some of your other stocks, Microsoft might take a dip, come all the way down here. And then if Microsoft and Amazon and all of them do it, then we might have a bigger problem on our hands. But it's an Nvidia situation. So depending on your ETF, if you guys invest in ETFs and diversify some of your money, then you might not be affected by Nvidia because, for example, I think if I go back here to VUAG, I think they cover most of the S&P, but they don't cover tech, if I'm correct. So because they don't cover tech, you know, you won't have as much of an impact on Nvidia. But you know, if Nvidia shorts, a lot of companies short with it because they're solely reliant on it. Like I'm pretty sure Microsoft rely heavily on Nvidia now because I don't think Microsoft develops the same technology. I'm not big on tech anymore, so I'm not really too sure. Google, I'm almost certain Google relies on Nvidia quite thoroughly, maybe for their Gemini chips and whatnot. Who knows? But yeah, let's go back and look at GA because we're getting that close now. So yeah, perfect, man. This is great. I'm extremely happy right now. Honestly, I'm probably not smiling because you can't see it, but now I'm smiling. This is good. This is really good. You know why this is good? Because that shows that after we had that 1 hour candle, the next candle was indecisive. It was like, nah, we're not selling. We're not selling. And that's what you want to see. You want to see the market telling you these messages saying, listen, we're not selling. So all those people that got out early just now because they were scared when they saw the candle up here, you lost your good positioning. You lost your good positioning. Now, us who waited, there's a high possibility. Obviously, this can still come up. Don't you know, get too excited. But you know, this can now probably develop into New York session, and then boom, we might get a trade entry there where we can get involved. And that would be great. And we might not, it might just sell off. Even so, we're still in a good trade, so praise the Lord, we did well. Now let me go look at my portfolio. Aussie, okay, so yesterday we're at 22.3% for the month. Not bad, not bad at all. I've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trades, okay? 3 losses, 1 break even, 9 wins, including the trade that we're in now. What a nice strike rate. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Completely smashed, absolutely smashed it. Obviously, we're only early in the month, man, 11 days into November. So it's definitely a remarkable move so far. November, December, January, February, March, favorite times of the year anyway to trade. You know, it's the cooler periods, there's less going on, people are not as crazy outside as well. People are not always constantly trying to invite you to go out, so you don't have to challenge yourself with your discipline. Okay, I'm going to come out on Friday, this and that. Like, you can get completely locked in. That's what I like the most. So yeah, so one of the nice things is to get fully locked in, and yeah, I'm really pleased that I've been able to kind of just progress over this period of this year, especially the last few months, because I got locked in really well, and I was able to achieve a lot. Now let me share this Aussie 200 insurance entry, yeah? Let's have a look. Yep, that's what I'm looking at. But I'm not looking at it for today, I'm looking at it for tomorrow, London session. It could come correcting, like swaps time, who knows, comes down here. I'd like to see it like correctively 1, 2, 3 into it. Then you could kind of contemplate the entry. I could be wrong, you know what I actually genuinely think, because I get this a lot, is it pushes down here. Wait a second. My Aussie 200 is not moving. What is it? Oh yeah, sorry, okay, cool. You know, I forget how early it is right now. It's still very early. Okay, so I'm looking at this potentially, you know, doing its thing, comes down here, New York session, boom, blast from the past. You get something like that, good. Maybe it doesn't completely tap into that, but it does this, and then New York session comes in, taps into that, and then we push higher, and then you could probably try catch a insurance entry in here somewhere and get long, or you could play the risk entry down there. I like the risk entry, I did it before, I do it again. But I don't know if I'm going to put it on watch because I've got a busy afternoon. But I say these things, and then behold opportunity. Behold opportunity. Here we go. Here we go. Wheat is coming through with the goods. How did the 4-hour close? It has closed above, breaking, retracing time, good. Everything is looking positive. We're getting good vibes. I like it. Wheat is going to be the one, trust me, I'm telling you. Wheat is going to make me a 50% plus month. I think so. I think this is going to be, it's going to be the one. I just need to wait for it to give me the confirmation, so we're good. But yeah, wheat. You could risk entry that. I wouldn't even be mad at risk entry in this, but I don't want to risk entry it right now. I want to wait for the insurance entry, so I'm going to wait. GU. Yeah, GU still creating its continuation, so fair enough. And then, yeah, GA. Arguably, what am I looking at? EA. Yeah, EA. I could FOMO and take. Yeah, I'm joking. EA is good, but you got a reversal pattern right there. You kind of filled the gaps. EA is nice, man, especially on the hourly. Probably it's washed out. Yeah, 15 minute. Yeah, good, man. EA is okay. GA was nice, and I'm in GA, so I'm gonna stay with GA. Can't trade wheat on my account. Damn, man. That sucks. I wonder if I can trade wheat. It's a good question. Let me just double check. Shit. You know, so I'll put these pairs on watch all the time and I never check. Can I trade this pair? Yeah, I can. I can trade wheat. Okay, cool. Oh, I like it, man. Yeah, you look seems better on my chart on Oendo. I'm on Oendo. For some reason, it looks much nicer on MetaTrader. That looks good. Anyway, it will still look good in a day from now, and it will still look good when it gives me an insurance entry, so let's wait for that. Yep, so I don't need to be paying attention to these. EA though, you could keep an eye on it. I think it might surprise you. It could be a surprising one where it drops off insurance entry and just sells off. You could, if you keep attention to it, you might see something. But as I said, we don't know the outcome of these trades. We're not, we're not that good at telling the future. But this trade's good. I'm happy with it. I'll leave it. Let it run. Symbol is just wheat, right? Should I include in case of that? Yeah, it's wheat. It's just WHEAT. But I think you're using another broker. I'm using Oanda. So, well, I mean, the broker I'm using uses Oanda, the prop firm. One of them. Let me just quickly check something. Yeah, okay. So, I've been looking at. Man, you want to see something crazy now? I don't know about the countries here. I came from the UK, but shit, the car prices here are so expensive, man. It's a real challenge, man. It makes you want to work harder to get a better car. That's the way I see it, man. I want to get a car, a basic car. Let's say a Nissan GTR. I don't think I'm going to get a Nissan GTR straight away, but if I want a Nissan GTR from 2018, bro, what the hell? From 2018, this is in another language. Let's translate to English. Let's go with most newest first. 2021, you're going to ask me for 188,000 and it has 79 kilometers. So essentially, when you're looking at miles, if you're like me, it's just half of it. So if I'm looking at about 40k miles and you're charging me 188k for a car, so stupid, absolutely stupid. If I'm looking for a Evo X, right? I'm an Evo 10. Oh, I was going to talk about bikes. A Mitsubishi Evo, right? Man, I'm terrible. What am I? Okay, let's see. Tesla or the homies. Oh my. And I'm not a Tesla guy. My cousin, he rented a Tesla and he was driving it and he told me, but he said, oh man, I rode a Tesla. I was like, amazing. This is when Teslas were quite, whatever. And he was like, dude, worst car ever. That's all he said. He said, worst car ever. Like, he was riding it in London, he was driving, and he said it was just a crap-ass car. Perhaps maybe you need to get the really expensive models to like really experience a good Tesla. But here, I don't know if that's a normal price, but Model S costs you about 100k. That does look quite nice though. But do you know what, man? Tesla's just the first electric car. When I see these Chinese electric cars, oh my gosh, get me going. This is the one I want to get. I want to get a Porsche 7. I feel like if I get one of the, I can't even spell Porsche. If I can get a Porsche 7, where is it? Model. And 997. This looks nice. I mean, this is 2006. I'm not paying 100k with 100k miles on the clock. Or a 2006 car. Do you know what I mean? It's just silly. I want a 2011 as well. Come on, like, I understand taxes are high, but it's just stupid. Do you know what? If I'm looking at a Porsche, I'm better off going to the Porsche dealership in Greece and just buying a bloody Porsche. Because in Greece, I don't know about the countries you're in, but they change the mileage on the clocks. They do all the dodge, man. They do all the dodgy stuff. So I'm not that technical savvy with them. I can't deal with that. Anyway, what do you think? RS or GT4 RS? I'm gonna go GT4 RS. 200k, I'm assuming. But whatever. Let's see. Nope. What are we looking at? I actually have all of this in a Notion document. That's the car though. It looks good, right? It looks super fun, like a nice experience. I'm thinking of leasing it though. I think leasing is a lot nicer than buying, of course. Depreciating asset could get damaged, all of these things. So I'm not too bothered about owning it, but it's another thing which is very difficult to lease out here. Because people can't generally afford very expensive cars, so they don't sell very expensive cars. And when they don't sell expensive cars, you can't lease good cars. So it's like a loophole. So you're gonna have to end up buying a car. I know, right? It's like you can feel the frustration. Yeah, you can see the prices here, man. So these are electric, where most e-hybrid. Interesting. Okay, but yeah, I'm not interested in that. GTS Turbo. Anyway, that's not the one. I want to get the 718. 718 is 243,000. You know what? I'll still buy that. I promise you. I'll probably buy it with Greek plates. I'll be one of the only people that owns this car. I'll just be driving it around by myself. We'll be taking pictures, you know, like in London when you see like a Bentley Bentayga, and you're like, oh my god, a Bentley Bentayga, and you start taking photos. I'll be that guy in Greece, guarantee it. But I'll be honest with you, if I had $243,000, I'll be dead honest with you, man. I would probably rather help people than own this car. I would just feel so sad knowing that there's other people out there in the world starving and trying to grind and get to their goals, and then I'm out here driving a GT4. Like, what the fuck? Like, that would just kind of kill me on the inside, because, you know, coming from a place of not having much, damn, man, I would just be like, fuck the world, man. I'm buying a 911 GT3. We're gonna pull up that conference to buy with that. Yeah, you know what? Like, that's the thing. I can rent it, enjoy it for like a little while, and then, you know, move on. Like, let's just see if in the UK. Oh shit, my wheat trade. What's going on? My wheat trade. Let me swap over and show you guys. Oh, great. Trading view is bugging out. But wheat is, I don't think wheat is doing much, actually, to be honest. I think I just saw it again and I was like, that looks good. Yeah, it's not doing much. Yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, luxury, 850. Okay, not bad. But this is like something else. Rent now, what is this? Per day, 800. No, you're crazy. That is absolutely nuts. 850 euros a day. I mean, I'm not spending 8 grand to enjoy that for 10 days. You know what I mean? Like, I might as well take a first class flight to Nigeria and come eat some nice jollof rice. Maybe go to Ghana as well. You know, 8 grand, I could live like a king there for a little while. Oh, look at this. So, what, excess car rental. Don't tell me these are for a day, man. Track. Oh shit, there's a place. Oh, this is in England. I'm almost certain it's in England. Where is it? Germany. Okay, so you can rent these cars in Germany for a decent amount though. But you know what? Like, I don't even know how to ride that car, so I take it to a track. I'll be just going around slow. You know what I mean? I'll be not used to how the car functions. Lease. UK. Let me see how much it costs to lease it in the UK. UK is the best, man, in terms of just getting things. Truly and truly, I've got to go soon. Damn. I'm gonna have to bounce in 20 minutes, so let's go back to some technicals. Let's not get distracted. Okay. We're back. Someone just messaged me. Okay, cool, close that. Alright, so we're here, and then let's look at GU. GU still developing, and then wheat. Man, do you know what? I could take wheat right now, but it just. I was looking at this one. I did kind of consider that. I don't know. I didn't want to take a loss, so I just didn't want to take that trade because it was there. I'm happy with what I'm waiting for because I know the reliability. Oh shit, it just dipped. I'm pretty sure it just took a dip. I think this could just sell up and not give me anything. That's what I'm annoyed with because it's wheat and it's done everything. Yeah, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for this and see what happens. If I get that, I'll be so happy. I'll be very, very happy with this trade. If I don't get it, and it ends up being the trade that I don't want it to be, which is this trade here, I won't be too happy because, yeah. But wheat has been my favorite one all week. I think somebody asked that, which one am I really in love with? It's this one. I really, really like it. I could take it for a 5-to-1 to the low, large stop loss, mitigating against everything. Decent trade. I've got GA open as well. GU. I'll leave it for now, man. If it goes, it goes. It's something that we all got to watch go on without us, but if there's someone out there who took wheat, I'd be happy to see if they made money. Would you think about GJ Long? I think we said GJ Long was good. We said GJ Long was smart. It was a very smart, intricate little play. It's very aggressive on the upside, so a deeper pullback is possible, but man, this is that's good. If that goes, you're flying. You're flying with this trade, man. It's not gonna be a slow burner in my opinion. This is gonna be like a 7-to-1 flying trade, and then you zoom out a bit, and then boom, it's back up 14%. So I think it's a great trade. I think what Zeph mentioned here, that's a skill set trade, an experience play, not a trade to be taken in. No, I don't want to say getting drawdown, because it's a trade that can get you out of drawdown if you really look at it. It's higher in risk to an extent because of the gap to the bottom, which is very small. It's already significantly pushed away. It's in the impulsive phase. This is the corrective phase now, but it's sitting below the high here. But really and truly, this high is nothing. This high is absolutely nothing. So it's pointless even considering it based on the high just above it. So really and truly, it's a great trade. It's phenomenal. It can come down for a third touch. I don't think it needs to. I think internally there was a subjective first touch to it right here. So it's kind of done everything it needs to. It's done that. It's done it. And I think for that purpose alone, you take that trade, you leave it, you're happy with it. What would I do if you want to ask me that question? How would you have taken this? Would you have taken it the way you've drawn it? I think that's great. I would probably just bash it out to about 40, 45 pips from the break. So yeah, from literally the open of that candle, 45 pips, I would have been set down here, and yeah, sure, I would have sacrificed a little bit more protection, but it gives me a peace of mind, which I'm more favourable for. And then at least to this high, I can manage for 6-to-1. The next high I've got about 3.5, aggressive at 3. I walk away with 3%. I'm happy as can be, and I'll work on the next trade. But 6-to-1, and then that 12% up there. If you wanted to go aggressive, which I also think is not bad, you can go aggressive. You can even crop it just a tiny bit. That turns into like a 20% trade there. That 6% turns into a 9%, and you start to just be a little bit more optimistic. If you're looking at where it is now, and if you're too late, I don't think you're too late. I just think that you're not going to get the 9% or the 6%. You're probably going to want to go aggressive on this and go here, and then the odds are price could take you out by doing that. So you'd want to go extra, and you'd probably end up having to go. You could probably get away with 45. You could probably get away with 45 pips from where it is now, and then to the high here, you're managing still for about just 5.8, almost a 6-to-1. So yeah, if somebody's thinking about a position to go long, I don't entirely think it's the worst position in the world. I don't entirely think it's the best, but I think it's a position that can potentially make you 5-to-1. That's all. GA, still doing that. And then my guy Wheat. Weetabix. Anyway, there could come a continuation in fire. Suddenly I'm going long and not short. Got to wait and see. Aussie 200, still doing its thing. I'm not really bothered. Shit, this looks good though. That's good. Let's wait and see if we get what we're looking for. I'm just going to mark this up here, make it a little bit cleaner. I like to clean these charts up because it gets messy, and then yeah, I'm going to wait for this to develop into New York, so roughly around about this period here. So knowing that, I can mark this up here. It might sell off before then, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to accept that. I'm going to mark it up here, and this sells off, comes down here, comes back up. Then I'm going to take advantage of that. And then I've kind of got my internal 1, 2, 3 again, which is nice, so I've got something like that. Good stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be waiting for that. The 1 hour, that's going to look even nicer. That's perfect, man, I love that, I love that. If that shapes up, I'm all over this trade. That's my New York forecast done. I've got about 3 to 1 into that low. That's probably where I'll be looking at. But if this drops off, 10 to 1. So beautiful trade. I'm not taking GJ, no, because I don't have it on watch, and I'm trying to create a bit more discipline in myself. But after analysing it, I absolutely would take that if it was on my watch list. I think it's great. Really and truly, I don't think there's much wrong with this trade. I really like it in terms of, higher time frame, everything we're looking at. It's positioned so well for a big long. So it's a great trade. I just, again, like I said, it's just not on my watch list. So I'm not going to break my rule there because I've got loads of stuff on my watch list this week. So I have to be true to my forecast. I had this where I missed that, but intentionally I understood there was this trade that came on when I woke up roughly. I was like, you know what, I can let that trade go because I have other trades, but I had that steep bit there. CJ kind of, but it was in that AJ nothing. AU, similar to GU, might sell off a bit first. EA is looking dead, absolutely dead right now. USD Swiss for the sell. I'm just watching this one. I think I'll put it on watch just to watch opportunities go by because, there's many ways I could have just scaled in. I could have made so much percentage on this crap piece of price action there, but reading it and understanding it, I could have made a lot of money on it. It's just, again, there was better things to be looking at. USD CAD, more in preferred for this one to come up. So this could be doing this or something in that region there. And then what happens is that kind of sells off one more time, maybe just trickles about and then does this, then drops in over here, starts hovering, New York session, comes back up. And then what you have is essentially just a bit of corrective price action, not that far up. And then you have internally, arguably something like that. However you want to look at it, it doesn't really matter. And then at this point here, we're taking advantage of this sequence here, this sell. And that's what I'll be looking at, taking advantage of that run there. It is situated on the low there, but I'm not too bothered because I've got a bit more to work with here. I just don't think that's going to be ready today. I think tomorrow, Wednesday time could be done. I'm not going to be looking at USD CAD today. Maybe Aussie session, but again, like I said, not for me. I'm sticking to GA. I'm hoping GA is the one that is gonna feed me. If not, wheat better shape up and give me an insurance entry so I can go short. I might miss it as well because I'm going to the dentist in 30 minutes, so I'm going to be leaving in 10 or 20 minutes. I'm going to leave. So I don't know. I'll be at the dentist for a while. Maybe I think a checkup be like 20 minutes plus the 10 minutes there and back. So I'll be gone for an hour. In an hour, we'll see where the price action is. It only needs around about 4 or 5 candles, so 1, 2, Okay, wait, let's say so it's 10. I'm gonna be. Man, why is the clock different? Why is it so different? Hold on a second. It's showing me 5 minutes in the past right now. Anyway, around about an hour from now, I will be away, and in 2 hours. So we're looking at roughly around about here. Yeah, I think that's enough time for a consolidation into New York session, and then we go. Let me pull out my favorite tool. You know what it is? Lux Algo, sponsored by Lux Algo. Let's see. Pull out this tool. Let's have a little look. So New York session, good commitment. London session, pretty decent. New York session, New York session, New York session, New York session, New York, London. Okay, fine. So New York session is the one I'm going to be really primarily looking at here. So yeah, New York session open. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll get a pretty nice momentum-filled sell. We're going to have to wait and see. Let's see. So are you taking wheat on a personal spread? Seems a bit higher earlier. Let me check what the spreads are. Good question. Let me check what the spreads are, man. Oh gosh, you're right, man. Thank you for mentioning that. I knew spreads were wild, but bloody hell, this is something else. I might as well take the risk entry. So I think that's what you're telling me, take the risk entry. Oh man, that's gonna have to be up here. My spreads is from here to about here. Like in that region. Nice. Yeah, I might have to take it large. What am I looking at? 3 to 1. Looking at daily. Okay, it's still not bad, man. If I still take large enough, I could be in this trade for a while though, with some scaling opportunities. But yeah, it's a good point. Good point. There's large spreads, and I don't know what spreads are going to be like during swaps. Shit. That's a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying. Do I let that? Do I put? Yeah. So early before. And do I let that put me off the trade though? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not the best trade in the world. You know what? Scrap it. It's done. You know, I'm not messing about. And there's better trades out there than this one. I'm going to wait for GU then. So you made my life simpler. Thank you for that, Tank. You simplified my evening. Really and truly, you did. Okay, so 1 hour on this is still building up momentum right now for something. I don't know, man. I feel like I might get out of this if we don't close. 4 hour closes in 3 hours 25. Yeah, I'm still leaving it. I'm just gonna let that one run. Now I've got nothing else to look at. My day is like feeling a lot more lighter because I don't have wheat involved. Bloody hell. What was it, 200? Long way coming. New York session, mate. New York session. Maybe. Wait, 1 second. Yeah, damn. Anytime. Yeah, I appreciate that. 1 hour, 4 hour. Seriously, CAD, selling off. Yeah, Aussie CAD, Euro CAD, Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie on the floor. Nah, man, that's pulling up. To where? To just to up. Maybe. Yeah, my watch list is looking a bit like it needs a bit more development right now. Euro, what's the US dollar? Let's have a look at that. What do you guys think of this trade? I think this trade is actually quite an interesting one. Not liking how it's kind of done this. It's not really tapped into the low there as well, which is kind of okay. The fact of the matter is we might push up here, and we just continue moving. And that becomes the start off. The push back down, and then failed continuation, and moves. That could be a good trade too. Intricate one though. 10 pips. I'll go 10 pips on this for sure. I'm not really bothered with that one. Got about 1% there, so I can move to break even easily, and then let it develop, and then it turns into quite a big trade. AU or GU? I'd rather go GU. GA. Yeah, GU all day. GU all day. It looks like it has potential. I was looking at a similar setup on GU, but we didn't get it. Well, let's wait and see, man. Let's wait and see. GU just went up a little bit higher. Remember, GA is still in that territory where it can develop just for a short. We still need it to develop. It might come up here, sell off a bit, come back up here for New York session, and then boom, it goes, and then we're cleared for swaps. I'll probably be out 7 to 1, to be honest with you. I mean, 5 to 1. I'll be out of the market, happy days. And then let the evening roll on, swaps, whatever. You guys, if you want to stay in trade, stay in trade. There's still potential for a little bit more, but I'm happy with a trade like that. 5 to 1, and walk away. All is good. All is good. Man, wheat. Wheat, man. Why did I have to do that? Really and truly. Knowing that, I would risk entry it. Sometimes you just gotta let these trades go without you, innit? Let's see if I did take a trade. Let's see if I find a similar trade, right? Similar trade. Call it here. I took the trade here. Stop loss wise, I'm up here somewhere. 90. Too below that, yeah, 2% in and out. What am I looking at here? This is way higher up in the run though. Even if I took it here with this much, I can still walk away 3 to 1. It's a 3 to 1 trade there, and I feel like I just have to leave it. But you know why I don't like it? Because if we get an aggressive, I'd probably get a 3 to 1 into the low here, and then if that developed and did something like that, you know, I'd probably be walking away with a profit by this point here, which is pretty decent. You know, where I could get in a bit more aggressive and not that. Oh shit, sorry about that, guys. Really sorry. Clumsy. Hit the mic. Sound like explosion. Yeah, over here. What do you think about a 4-hour GU long? Whew, good question. For the 4-hour GU long. Damn. Coming in with the 4-hour. I think you might be onto something as well. Truly. I think so. Because DXY sells off, GU goes long, you're positioned well in this area. DXY is positioned well for the sell. I think you've cracked it. Yeah, genuinely, I think that's good. But we're 3 hours away, so it's hard to tell. But if this fails, then this fails, we go long. Oh man, it makes me feel a bit squeezy. If this fails, so for example, let's just draw that on, and let's say price fails over here, and it doesn't commit, doesn't do this, and it does that, and creates continuation here, that's your message that you just go long. Trickier, but that's the clear message that we're back in and we're moving, and then you go to the DXY and it's like, aha. I mean, look at the DXY, man. DXY's revealed it. Continuation to go lower, just tapped into this. So, daily swing plays there. if you want to take it. You could take it. I would even take it. Here, protection above. That's me up. Over to this point, I got borderline 1%, 4%. Playing the overall move, and we know DXY can be aggressive and get there in like a week, 2 weeks. So 14% to the low, and I've got big protection there, 22 pips. It's not bad, man. It's not bad at all. Fuck. Let's see what EU looks like. Let me get back EU. Yeah. Weekly looks good, daily looks good, everything is falling into place. Got about 7-1 here with large enough stop loss. I don't know if it's got it. Oh man, yeah, you're right. Mate, that was a good spot. That's a quick, sharp eye. Very sharp eye. Good spot. 9-1. Damn. So that means, I'm looking at it closely. A GU long 4-hour play is not a bad idea. I think it's a very good idea. I think that's a very, very good idea. Very, very nice. We don't hold here. That's just solid. Look at DXY, man. I mean, I wouldn't sell this just yet, even though it does look, and it's starting to look pretty good. I'm cautious. Listen, I've got to bounce, guys. I've got to go somewhere and do my dentist stuff, so I'm gonna have to catch you guys later. I'm holding a break even on this one anyway, but if your trade thesis is looking strong on the 4-hour play here, we might all be in for a treat to the upside, and GAs might not commit. GAs might go with it. So I don't know. I don't think they're correlating that much, but looking at the other GBP pairs, they look like they're pulling back. That's already tapped into this section. It looks like it's pulling back on GBP Swiss, GBP CAD. GP New Zealand's kind of tapped into that low there. So yeah, GJ, the longest possibly there, and GU for the short. Yeah, I'm aiming for a RE entry on New York session. Yep, good idea. I've got GA here for a potential continuation section. Let's remove that continuation in that area there to go short. That's what I'm looking for. And then get all right. Yeah, wicked. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'll be back, and then I will maybe jump on another live, or if you guys have questions, just hit me up on Instagram. Catch you guys later. Take care.